Good evening, everybody. This is Scott DeCamp with CatchMark SportsNet, and this is Season 7 already, Episode 1, first episode of the spring season, CatchMark SportsNet Podcast. Back in the studio here. It's beautiful out. It was the eclipse today. Hopefully everyone still has their vision and listen to the doctor's orders on those protective glasses. And we'll get right into that because we were talking about that off camera here, but let's introduce our guest first. It's Bill Welch of Bill's right down the road, the card shop and sports memorabilia. And so the official name is Bill's Golden Cards and Collectibles, right?
Bill's Lakeshore Golden
I knew
Cards
I was going to mess it up. I always mess something up. Bill's Lakeshore, yeah. Yep, Golden Cards and Collectibles. And you said you took a little drive to get some glasses, huh?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we drove to Ludington this morning. Everybody was sold out in Muskegon County.
Yeah. So another one of our guests we have is Trannon Aylor, Whitehall senior, multi-sport standout, defending state champ in the 400. Looking to back that up this year. I know he is. So welcome, Trannon. Thanks for coming on.
Thank you for having me. Appreciate it.
And then I'd be remiss if I didn't mention the co-host. I should have probably came right in with that one.
I'm back. Blessed to be here.
Yep, Myles Welch. So he knows a little bit about this other Welch guy on the show here. So
Yeah, I mean, been with him for 16 years of my life.
yeah. So yep, that's if you didn't figure it out by now. Yes, that is Myles' father, Bill. So Myles is an intern here for us at CatchMark's, doing a great job. Really humble. Will do anything. We haven't gotten to the really fun stuff yet, but that's yet to come. We want to get him some broadcasting experience because that's really what he wants to do down the road, is be a broadcaster and an analyst and that kind of thing. So we want to look for those opportunities and experiences to get him those things. But before we dive into this discussion, which will be a really good one, I want to thank our sponsors. First, we'll start with our title sponsor, Chris Wink. He's a realtor with Century 21, and he is now with actually Century 21 Trophy Class. And so that's the brokerage he's working with now. We also have Big Stone Therapies, Rescue 2.0 LLC, Grieve Law, Edward Jones, the financial advisor, Brett Adkins, Coldwell Banker, Woodland Schmidt with David Duesenberry, Farm Bureau Insurance, the Kenny Agency, 5-Star Real Estate Leaders with Matt Parker, The Birdhouse, Scheid Plumbing, Heating and Cooling, and Greenridge Realty with Chris Dykman, Sarah Reel. So let's start off with our guest here. Let's learn a little bit more about them. Bill, tell us a little bit, where are you from, what years you graduate, etc.
Well, I'm originally from Mansalona, Michigan. I don't know if you're familiar with that.
My parents had a cottage up in Kalkaska, so right near there.
So I went to school, kindergarten through 8th grade up there. Then we moved to, my dad worked for the government, so we moved to Whitehall my freshman year. And then that's where I graduated in 1995.
Nice. So, as far as family, wife, children, obviously we have one of them here, but what can you say about your family?
Yeah, so I have a wonderful wife who is I'm blessed to have. She's the mind of the family. She keeps us all separated. Then I've got.
And what's her name?
Janet.
Okay.
Yep. And then Axel. We got Axel. He's in 8th grade, and Chloe's a senior.
Yeah.
Yep.
She's the muscle in the family.
She is. Yeah. Power lifter.
Yeah. So can she take Myles on?
Oh, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. Right.
Whoop up on him?
I try to keep them separate because I don't know what the outcome would be.
So just tell us a little bit about the business that you own and operate, and what do you have in there, and if you're appealing to someone who's never been there before, and to bring people in from different parts of West Michigan.
Yeah, so I'm medically retired from the Army, so that's kind of what brought me to being able to do like my dream job.
Well, thanks for your service.
No, I appreciate it. Thanks for the support.
Yeah.
So I when I first started out, I wanted to bring something to the community. I didn't want it to be just a regular card shop. I wanted something where we could be involved with the community. Provide something for everybody. So the average Joe can come in and see something cool in the shop. We have all kinds of stuff. We have comics. We have vintage sports stuff. We're actually getting ready to put in a vintage arcade room in the back. So you got Pokemon cards, Magic cards, pretty much a little bit of everything.
Nice. So switching over to Trannon here, our other guest. Football standout as a receiver, safety, return man. Basketball, played a key role the last couple of years there. And then track, obviously. I know you're smiling. But you still, you guys had magical seasons in football and in basketball. But first, your background. How did you get in so heavily involved in sports? And I think it's probably your whole family's that way, right?
Yeah, so obviously I had two older brothers who went to Whitehall as well, and they actually transitioned from Montague. I think 9th grade, they switched over to Whitehall in 10th grade.
Yeah.
And so honestly, just watching them growing up, I mean, they were my inspiration, they were my role models, and obviously I just wanted to go out there and do what they could do. And I always dreamed of getting to that level where I'd be able to compete and just do what they did.
And, when you're young, when you're little like that, and you're looking up to those type of people, especially your brothers, those people seem kind of larger than life, When you get to that spot, though, and you're that person, how does that flip? Does it feel weird a little bit because you don't even maybe really think of it or look at it that way?
Yeah, it's definitely weird to think about because I'm just kind of like, oh, dang, I'm already here. Like, I was just watching my brothers the other day, and now it's me. And I remember just thinking when it was one of my brother's last basketball games, I just loved to watch him. And then it was over, and then a couple short years later, I'm there, and it's kind of just a weird feeling.
And, what was the ride like in general? You still got track season, so you still got a little time left. But, was it a blur? And, how do you just kind of put that into words, what you've experienced?
Obviously, everybody says this. It definitely goes by fast. And, it's just, I don't know. We had a lot of great seasons to remember, and I'm really thankful for that. Obviously fell short, from our goals. But, I love the guys, I love the coaches. So, it was just a great experience overall, and I'm really happy with.
Well, I'm going to stop hogging the floor because we do have a co-host here in this, and we're trying to teach this guy. He's already better than me, so I might as well let him talk. So, Myles, go ahead and shoot if you got questions for these guys. We can go off script, doesn't matter.
Yeah, so for my dad, obviously I know the answer to this, but for the audience, what did you just put on here this past Saturday?
This past Saturday, like I said, we're always trying to think of innovative, different ideas at the shop. So we had a scavenger hunt. And what we did is it was Whitehall, Montague area. In public areas, we hid plastic eggs. And basically, we put little redemptions in them. So we gave out clues throughout the day at the shop, and it got kids and families out and about looking for prizes. So it's fun. It was actually our second one we've done. We had over $800 in prizes we put out there.
I was gonna say, how many of those eggs did you hide out there?
Yeah, we had close to 30, and then we had some other prizes out there also. But what we did is we brought in some new families into the shop, which is great. So it went really well for us.
So now you did it last year around this Easter time. What's the future of that kind of thing going forward?
So basically, it's really went well. We just want to keep it organized, and I think we experimented a little bit with a couple of sponsors. We had Bone Ends sponsor us and Deadman's Barber Shop. So it went really well where we had them help us and participate. So I think next time we're gonna reach out to a few more sponsors, and we're hoping that it kind of gets a little bit bigger.
Okay, nice. And then Trannon, obviously, you love the game, football, track, basketball. Is there any future goals after high school going forward?
I'm definitely looking to play sports in college, but that's still a decision I have to make, and I'm really lacking in making that decision. But yeah, I want to go compete somewhere, and I don't know. It's hard to know what you want to do right now, I feel like, and that's where I'm kind of struggling. But I definitely want to go compete after high school.
Yeah. So you still don't know what sport even? You kind of kicking it around?
It's honestly like I'm either going to go play both or one or the other.
Yeah.
I have a couple options where I could just do them each separately, and then a couple options where I could do both.
Is there a certain level you're kind of looking at too, or is that kind of up in the air?
It's for football. I'm probably honestly looking at D3 at this point. I've definitely had some interest at the D2 level, and I was offered a walk-on spot D1, and then for track, I'm looking at GV right now. So yeah.
Was someone your friend? What are you, 6'2"?
6'2", yeah.
6'2",
180,
yeah,
185.
I'm sure you could put on some
For sure.
some good muscle on that frame.
If I were to
And you
play
can run.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I try to slim down for track and then
yeah,
beef up for football, you know.
right. So, Bill, do you have questions too for either of these guys? So this is an open format, so open discussion. So really, if you've ever wondered anything, obviously you know this guy a little bit.
I do. I actually have a question for Trannon, just because I know just a little bit about it. But I know you're into kind of the vintage clothing thing, and I was just kind of curious how you got into that.
Ever since I was younger. So I mean, my dad he owned a thrift store down on across from Montague Foods. I don't know what it is now, but he used to own that, and I was always around there. We were always waking up real early on Saturday mornings, going yard selling, garage selling, same thing. But hitting Goodwills, like thrift stores, stuff like that. And honestly, it's just been ingrained in me since I was younger.
Nice.
And I never really was into the clothes until probably 5-6 years ago when my brother started doing it. And it wasn't as popular then, but we got into it and we were like, oh, this is fun. And like, we don't even have to go shop for new clothes. Like, this is fun. We're making money. Let's keep doing this. So I've honestly I've had it in me since I was probably like 12 and just kept with it. And
That was after the Macklemore song came out too. So
Yeah.
thrift shop. You probably didn't know what I'm talking about. But.
Right.
oh, I know what you're talking about.
That's cool.
No clue.
So what about you don't know what that song? I'm not going to play it because we'll get a copyright strike. But so
Isn't it like something about a $20 bill?
Yep. Yeah, and about that, I mean, I guess what is it? And I'm not going to get in your personal business, how much you're making and all this stuff, but what's the thrill of it? What excites you about it? Or what's cool about it?
I'm gonna say honestly, like when you just go to a yard sale and you like find a bunch of stuff and they say $1 a piece, and you're like, I just hit the jackpot, and it's exciting.
You're
and
gonna
it's
turn it
fun.
around.
Exactly, and obviously I keep a lot too. I mean, if anyone walked in my room, they'd see I got.
What you're wearing, was that something from
No,
those
I don't.
places?
I don't have any. I'm like scared to wear my stuff. Like I can't. If I were to like get a stain on it, I wouldn't forgive myself.
Yeah.
I got a quick add-on to that question. So I was on Facebook and I was watching a video, and I was just curious because I thought of you, Trannon. Have you ever, and I've seen these guys, they go dumpster diving,
Okay.
like behind stores and stuff. Have you ever done that, looking for treasures?
I
was just
The only thing I've ever really done with my dad was someone had a dumpster outside their house just throwing stuff away, and I think we quickly looked through that. We found a few things though. So
I've seen these guys behind some departments.
I'm not-
find some pretty sweet stuff. So
I'm not opposed
Like,
to it. I'll
man.
tell you that. I would do it in a heartbeat if I saw something in there remotely good. I'd be like, let's
Nice.
go.
I'm gonna have to start shopping with you because we were just in Chicago. It was a girls' weekend, and I got roped into it somehow. I was like the chaperone or whatever, and I went to the Nike store, which is awesome, but like a tank top was $55. Sweats were $100. I'm like, I'm not spending that. I mean,
Exactly.
as sweet as they were and as good as they looked, I'm like, I don't have the money for that. I'm not doing that.
Right.
It's like, so no, so that's
Pretty
not
sure-
working for me.
The only new piece of clothing I've bought in the past probably 5 years is a dress stuff for prom.
Oh, yeah.
That-
Yeah.
I get everything. I'm not afraid to say I get everything at Goodwill.
So I guess this is a good time to segue. I don't want to sound like these guys are shysters because they're not. When you say like a side hustle, it makes it sound like it's a negative, derogatory thing. But these guys, you got Myles and Trannon with, I don't know if you call it a business partnership either, but tell everybody a little bit about what's going on, what you guys got going on.
So basically, me and my dad kind of been collecting cards and everything. So he's not really with us, but like he's also like with us because like everybody who has like card inquiries, like vintage cards or whatever, Trannon will send them to me, and then I'll kind of forward it to my dad, and then so Trannon knows the clothes, I know the cards, and kind of just go from there.
And Bill's the godfather.
I am.
We put together a little flyer. I think
You got
it
a flyer?
looks pretty nice with Miles' skills. So
At some point, whenever we can make time, we'll go
yeah, we've been lacking. We got to pick up on that.
door to door and hand them out.
I wondered why he was so adept at Canva when he was working on it today. He was probably in there working on that flyer.
Right.
So, just with what's going on with, we can jump all around. We'll come back to that probably. But with what's going on with sports currently, Myles, you're playing baseball now. You're a catcher. You guys open the season tomorrow at home against Hart. how excited are you? You should get some good weather again too. But how ready are you for the season to really begin?
I'm super pumped. I think we got a killer squad this year. We moved districts, so I think we're in a district where we can compete for a district title and then keep playing the regionals. But we don't want to overlook that. We got Hart tomorrow, looking to take 2.
And what do you think? Tell us a little bit more about the team. What to look out for?
I think we got plenty of arms. Kyle, Ryan, Ike, Brock can throw a lot. Didn't throw a lot last year, but I think he's going to log a lot of innings this year. So I think pitching is going to be our strong suit. And then over these past few weeks, we've been hitting pretty solid. We went down to Indiana and we did live ABs, and everybody was hitting the ball.
So what other sports you play then?
Tennis is my other sport, and then I played basketball in the winter. Not sure if I'm going to come back to it, but tennis I picked up my sophomore year. Played football my freshman year, but just wasn't really into it. Still follow the game, but more into tennis kind of playing wise. So yeah, I love it.
What's your game? Like number one game?
Baseball. I've been playing baseball since I was real little. So.
And you play for somebody here in the summer too, right?
The past about 5 years, maybe longer.
I've coached in Little League since she was
So
T-ball.
He was my travel coach. Now me and a few other guys moved to a Holland team.
What's the name of the team?
Lakeshore Warriors.
Yeah.
In the summer, so it'd be fun. We got some tournaments all over the place: Grand Valley, Davenport, Motor City. So it'll be sweet.
So
Trent, you ever play? Sorry, go ahead,
No,
Bill.
I was just gonna say it's gonna be nice for Dad to sit on the other side of the fence.
Yeah.
So I'm excited for that.
Trent, you ever play baseball?
I gave it 1 year, 8th grade year or 7th grade year, I think, and I honestly I couldn't understand the game. Like
It's something that's hard to just pick up.
Yeah,
you have to play it for quite a while, I think.
And then I went back to, or actually I didn't. I don't think I did a spring sport for a while until track.
Yeah.
And I feel like baseball is like a sport where like every game's different. Like there's something.
It is.
Something else, something random that's going to go on throughout the game. It's not like basketball where it's pretty similar every game. Baseball is just different.
And Bill, you kind of beat me to that too. What I was going to say about what's it like being able to sit there as a parent, just as a dad, and just kind of enjoy it, or are you maybe on pins and needles because you're kind of like more stressed out?
No, I think it's more relaxed for me. Like Myles said, I've been coaching him through Little League, and then most of the juniors on the team I coached on travel baseball for 4 or 5 years. So I've gotten to know a lot of those kids, and as a coach, it can get pretty interesting. So I'm looking forward to the other side of it.
And Myles, what about you with baseball and just the sports that you like to call? Like, what are down the road, so many years down the road when you do get your career going, what's the sport or what are the sports you'd like to call?
So for me, I feel like baseball and football, primarily baseball for me, I think. Sometimes I just turn the volume down on Tigers games and just start commentating the games. I don't.
He's a student of the game. He really is.
Yeah, I'm super interested in baseball. I think that's my main sport, and I'm interested in football as well. So
that's a grind. I mean, I didn't cover a full season by any means, but I covered some MLB stuff, and I can just imagine what that's like. There are tougher jobs out there as far as from the physical grind and stuff. Mm-hmm. The people that break their backs, doing masonry and other really physical jobs out there, but it is a grind when you have to travel, just like the players. I mean, you're doing the same thing. You're not on the field like the players, but you're still traveling all over the place. You're away from your family. In the booth, you got to prepare just like any other professional does. So,
yep.
Can you see yourself doing that?
Oh, yeah. I mean, the Tigers just brought in Jason Benetti from the White Sox, and I like him so far. He brings the intensity to every game. So, and then I miss Rod Allen and Mario Impemba too.
Yeah,
those are my guys.
They were funny.
Yeah,
and the Tigers were actually good, and we're looking good right now. 6-3, Pittsburgh on the clock tonight.
So Trannon, what do you want to do professionally? Do you know? Have you thought much about that? Where you want to take your career?
I'm honestly not just looking into it, but I've taken my time a little too much, and honestly, I don't know what I want to do quite yet. I know
you've got time.
Yeah.
I know I want to go into business just because I feel like that's where my head's at, and that's just what I like to do. But I mean, it could always change. And I got a buddy. We wanna do something, start something together. So I don't know where that'll take us, or if it takes us anywhere. But that's where I'm looking at right now. And then if I do go to college, I would probably just go into business.
Yeah.
Just get some background there.
Well, you've spent enough time around these guys, obviously, more Myles, but what do you see in these guys in terms of entrepreneurs and just maybe their futures and maybe they don't give themselves enough credit sometimes. I don't know.
No, I absolutely love it. I mean, for kids at this age to actually go out there and do something creative and be entrepreneurs, I mean, Myles has been super awesome at working on buying cards at a low price and then moving them at a high price, and Trannon doing what he's doing. I think it speaks volumes for these two.
So how many football games? I know you were at all the basketball games, but how many football games were you at this year?
I was at every single one except for you guys' furthest one.
Oh, yeah. I mean, what was it like watching these guys, do you think? And then having your son out there covering it.
Yeah, I mean, it's super awesome watching this talented the kids were just, in football and in basketball. And I know they sell themselves short a little bit, but they accomplished a lot. I know they didn't get, to where they wanted to, but it for me to watch Myles out there on the sidelines, it's, just to piggyback on that, me and Myles used to go to signings, and we used to, go see players. And one of the things Myles, of course, he couldn't wait to get that autograph, but one of the things Myles did when he was really young is he'd get an autograph, but he'd also talk to the players. Like his very first outing was Denny McClain years ago. I think Myles was 11 or 12. Myles got his autograph, and he's like, "Hey, Denny, what was it like playing with Al Kaline?" And Denny looked at Myles, and he's like, "You should ask Al Kaline how he liked playing with me." So Myles is always the one, he'll ask the players an extra question or two. So that's, pretty cool to see.
No, that is really cool. And training back to, we'll start with football. 2 9-0 seasons in a row. And then, last year, 2023, or 2022, I should say. Actually, 2023 is your senior year, but 2022, you guys thought were right there. And, in that South Christian game, could have gone either way. I'm sure you probably still play that over in your head.
Yeah, I do. I mean,
what do you think about the most about that game?
Drop pick.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
you think so did that get knocked out of your hands, or did you just drop it? Because I was on the other side of the field, I couldn't tell.
I mean, Nate's being a little generous when he says that. He'll tell me he hit it out of my hands, but I don't know if I believe him. I mean, I feel like I might have just dropped that one. I don't know. I didn't. You're kind of like, oh, this is a big game. There's no way he's going to just throw it that short and give me a free pick. And
right.
Just fell right out of my hand.
It happens.
Yeah, that one hurts. I won't lie.
Do you think if you make that pick, you win?
I think we're.
You never know.
We're definitely in a position where it's looking in our favor. So.
No, but I mean, don't beat yourself up over it. I mean, I'm still, even though semifinals my senior year, I pitched that game. We lost in the semis, and that ended up being a blowout, but it was tight for a little while. And I still think about that. That was 30 years ago. So
hurts.
Yeah, it does when you get that close. But you guys, had a phenomenal team and had a great team again this year. A lot of the same guys, and just things happen, and But so which one I guess stung more, junior year or senior year?
I don't know, honestly. I mean, they both hurt pretty bad. I mean, the feeling of like it's your last game, and then obviously the feeling of, oh my gosh, we were so close. We had it in our hands. And I obviously felt that in both games, but all I can think about is, oh, that's my last game. So it's definitely a different feeling in both games. But that South Christian one, I mean, with all the smack talk I received, that one hurt a little bit. Probably a little worse.
Yeah, but like Bill said, flip it around and think about all the history you guys made too. And it's hard, even now probably, to maybe accept that or think about that as much as maybe the other side of it. But, I mean, you guys made history in a lot of ways, and we'd had this town buzzing,
Yeah, we definitely knew we could, potentially do it, obviously, this year. But, I think ever since we got into high school and, we were always like, oh, that's going to be the year. Because we got all these big old senior dudes, and then we got the junior class where we're most of the skills kids and the beef. So we knew we were going to be a good, fit together, and we knew that might be a really good year to try and make a run for it.
But I think you guys really did help put Whitehall on the map even further.
Yeah.
Because you guys were ranked, number 1 this year, and then I got irritated last year, your junior year when you guys lost and there were some people out there that were like, oh, same old Whitehall. I go, no, they just lost to a really good team, just maybe make a play here, play there. I don't know. I didn't feel that way, and it annoyed me when people said it. So,
and from where I work at the card shop, I'll tell you, it was refreshing the whole season, especially basketball, even football. But we would have customers coming in, and we would just chit chat about the Whitehall team. And did you see that game last night? So it really brought the town together. I think I had a ton of customers that we enjoyed just talking about you guys. So.
What was that like, Myles, being on the other side of it, like being the guy kind of documenting it, interviewing these guys, and then these guys really well, obviously. So did that make it easier or make it harder? What was that whole thing like?
I think it was hard in the playoffs when we lost, but throughout the season it was a blast. I mean, student section's fun, but like being on the sidelines and feeling kind of the game atmosphere and kind of learning stuff too while covering the games was pretty sweet. Yeah.
So I have a Graham Couch, a friend of mine, a former colleague. He's a columnist for the Lansing State Journal, covering Michigan State, and he always said this when we were in Kalamazoo Gazette working together. He's like, I don't want to see you in the press box covering that game. You get down on that sideline, and so I don't know if there's more media now and more, I guess, fake media or anyone can be a reporter now. There's blogs all over the place. But maybe the press box spots were easier to get before. But I don't remember the last time I sat in a press box and watched a game. I want to be down on the sideline. Yeah, something to it.
I agree with that. But like, I feel like I'd rather be in there if I wasn't like calling the game, like play-by-play.
Right.
But if I'm in the booth calling play-by-play, I think that's the number one job for me.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So, Bill? What other signs have you seen of Myles, and when did you know this is where this kid wants to go with this?
Yeah, I mean, Myles has always been a sports nut. And, of course, I got it from my dad, and then he gets it from me. He's always, writing down stats. He's always, ever since he was, 12, 13 years old, he's got a whiteboard in the basement just writing down standings and stats, and he's doing deep research all the time. So I knew that's something that it's his calling,
And Trannon, from your side of things, what's it like being interviewed by like a peer, by a student?
I mean, Myles is real ambitious, and he likes to get things done. I like that about him. I think that's why we kind of connect a little bit. Yeah. And I mean, he's just a go-getter, so it's fun seeing him succeed and have fun with what he's doing.
What do you got, Myles? Again, I'm trying to not to take over this thing. It's all give good. You the floor.
This podcast looking pretty good. I guess one more thing for Dad or Bill. I guess
whatever you want.
Get to call him Bill on this podcast.
Sports card industry. Yeah. A lot of people don't really know that. What's kind of the future of that, and like what's kind of the market of sports cards?
So really, when COVID happened, that's kind of when the boom started. So a lot of people dug out their collections out of the closet, and they had a little extra money in their pocket, so people started collecting again. That really set the tone, I think. And it's still at a high right now. And honestly, I don't see it going anywhere for a while. It's staying pretty steady.
So I remember collecting baseball cards back in the day. You get the pack of Tops or whatever. Is it Don Russ? Those two.
Don Russ.
So
kind of
the bubble gum might have been pretty cool, pretty enticing too. The bubble gum that was in there. He's like, what? You know what I'm talking about?
Oh yeah, I still sell those packs in my shop actually.
Bubble gum that you chew for like 5 seconds and it's already
it's done.
It's already done, yeah. But no, that was pretty cool.
Oh yeah.
What's the again? Try not to make it too personal in terms of what you got in your store, and I don't want people to come ransack your store or anything. But what's some of the stuff that you got in there that's some of your most valued, I guess?
So right now, our probably our most high value card is we've got a Nolan Ryan rookie card. That's valued at about $1,100. We've had Michael Jordan rookies come through. We ended up grading it. Came back at graded 8, and then we ended up selling it for about $6,000. We actually had somebody travel from Kalamazoo to come and purchase it, cash money, which cash is king, right?
That's right.
So we've had some.
He knows that.
We've had some really interesting things come through the shop, which is great. Having a storefront because you never know what's going to come in the door. I think one of the more unique things is we had a 1889 card come through, and it was actually we sent it in to get graded, so it was authenticated. Definitely the oldest card I've ever had, so that's pretty neat.
Myles, you got any Sandlot stories, like borrowing a piece of memorabilia and then, like from the movie The Sandlot where he had the ball or whatever, and then it goes over the fence?
I'm trying to think. It wasn't really, I don't know. It wasn't really like valuable, but I left a baseball outside, and the mow guy came around and spit it out right back at the house, and there's a big hole.
Yeah,
like, right inside of the
we
house.
wont talk about that, Myles.
Yeah, so that's,
So what was the value of that baseball?
it was just a regular
It was
baseball.
just a regular baseball, but Myles. So Myles, he's a super ambitious, especially when he's practicing for a sport. I mean, I remember when he was young, he used to go outside with a foot of snow, and he'd be hitting off a tee. So he tends to leave some of his baseballs in the yard. And this time, our lawnmower guy spit it out and put a nice little hole in the side of our house. So we won't talk much more about that, right?
Yeah.
Anything else on that regard?
I think I hit a ball through a window.
Yeah, you've done that.
It was a garage window, though, so it's kind of not a big deal. But
We've all had stories like that. What about you? You have damaged any property around the house, or maybe you and your brothers wrestling around and you break something?
Trying to
Or
think.
break any bones or anything?
Oh, I'm sure. I fell on my bed and broke my collarbone when I was like, I don't know how old I was, but double bunk bed. I think I was in the high bed, and I was like with my sister. We were real young. She shoved me right off, and I'm crying in my mom's car. Next thing I know,
Landed right on it?
yeah, but broken stuff, I'm sure, but I can't think of anything off the top of my head.
So we'll go to the basketball season. We'll talk about that a little bit. Another special season, 22-0 in the regular season. Tough draw in the district. Spring Lake's a good team, well coached. And you guys, overtime game, one of those ones that could have gone either way. And if you win that, you're probably in good shape and going to make the same run that they did. And both you guys were on the team. I mean, what were your vantage points? What did you guys think of the season? How fun was it while that ride was going?
So I didn't get much playing time. I mean, basketball, I don't practice that much. It's not that big to me. So
Except in your season opener
against OV, yeah,
against OV, that lefty layup.
jump the
The
pass.
one game I missed too.
At least we documented it.
Right.
Yeah, so it was fun being out there with the boys. I mean, lifting them up when they got fouled out or whatever, and then practices were always fun. So yeah, it was a fun season. Tough way to go out, but overall it was fun. Yeah.
And what about for you?
Yeah, I mean, obviously it's fun to play with the guys, and it's fun to play around Cam because he's just a play waiting to happen. So that's kind of cool. And yeah, I mean, it was a good season, and obviously ended short, which feels like that's like keeps happening. I'm like, come on, like you gotta get over.
You got another track season.
Yeah, I gotta.
What do you guys think about that? I mean, you guys feel you got a shot again?
Yeah, we're excited. I mean, we still got some kinks to work out, and hopefully, we're going to be good for the season. But yeah, we should have a good 4x2 relay.
No, I felt bad because I always hate missing dunks, especially when there's multiple people of us there, be it me or any of the sports nuts or anything. And I don't remember which game it was. You had a pretty nice dunk. I'm like, damn it, I missed that one. But then at Newaygo, I got a little bit of video and photos. I'm like, all right, good, I got him. So
I know. I wish I had bigger hands so I could just because I feel like I drop the ball when I'm getting up there, and then I just have to forearm it in. And I'm like, nah, I'm not saying I get that high up, but right here, so I always get that big old red line.
Oh yeah.
Wish I had that problem.
And then my wrist is I can't squeeze for a couple hours.
I remember touching the foam on the backboard. That was sweet.
Exactly. I don't even know if I can do that.
But either you guys been dunked on by Cam in practice or not? You don't let it happen.
Somebody did.
I think he's been close with me, but half the time I'm not looking. So
But don't count.
yeah, I mean that's what Cam tries to do. He'll come from behind you and try to dunk on you in practice.
So what makes him tick? I guess basketball, football, whatever.
Cam?
Yeah.
I don't know. I think he just so I mean he locks in practice, but I mean he messes around a little bit. But in games he really locks in. Like he doesn't talk to anybody pregame, and then once we get in the game he's on. So yeah.
Yeah, he's definitely got a drive for sports, and that's his thing, and he's really good at it. So I mean, why wouldn't it be, right? So
No, basketball is kind of. I mean,
Well,
pretty obvious
all
that's
the
his
sport,
passion, right?
yeah.
I mean, he's good at all of them, but I mean, you're speaking from someone who's also good at all of them. But
he's probably a 3-sport D1 athlete for all of them, which is pretty insane.
no, and it's cool that little foreshadowing. I mean, we didn't know it at the time that the coach that was recruiting the most had that, was in the spotlight with Oakland and Greg Campy and
Exactly.
the dude the Jack kid, that was just hitting everything. How cool is that that guy was around your program, and then you're watching him on TV and they're knocking off Kentucky.
Dude,
He ran John Cal
Out of a job.
Yeah.
I'm trying to know how much they're getting from these NIL deals.
Oh,
right
Jack
after
Golke, yeah. Did you guys watch any of the women's NCAA tournament or not? What do you guys think?
Got some clips.
I mean, Caitlin Clark definitely changed the game.
Yeah.
I know. When I'm shooting a deep 3 now, I'm like, that's a Caitlin Clark shot. Like, ain't no Steph Curry no more.
Yeah.
But that's where she had to pick it up from, right?
Yeah.
Watching someone like Curry growing up, and I mean, you look at her release; it's not the same, but it's a quick release too.
Oh, yeah.
I can't believe how deep she shoots sometimes.
Yeah.
So I'm
The
like,
logo.
wow.
Yeah,
It's insane.
Like consistently, she'll pull up like back to back. I'm like, holy.
and I never noticed this until someone pointed out, like in the tournament and stuff, but how she's so much better. Maybe this is just how it is for most shooters, but she's much better fading to her left than she is to her right.
Okay.
A lot of people, I don't know. A lot of people that I know are more comfortable dribbling with their offhand and then pulling up. I don't know about if you're better with your left hand pulling up or with your right pulling up.
I don't even know. I don't think I
Don't
thought
even
about
ask
that.
me. I already shoot.
Yeah, you showed off that lefty on that layup with the bump.
Yeah, that should have been an one. I don't know.
It should have been. So, I mean, obviously you got the spring season coming here, but what do you think you got another year, but what makes sports and playing sports at Whitehall so cool?
I mean, we just got a really good group of athletes, and I mean, always are coming up with good group of athletes, and it's just a good time. I mean, when you're winning and you're having fun, I mean, those are the two best things. So I mean, you really can't go wrong. And we've had a lot of success these past few years, and I think it's gonna continue to keep going.
Yeah.
I feel like for me, I mean, the popular answer would be like coaches, teammates, but I think the biggest thing is the community. They give us a lot of support. I mean, football, for example, you see how many people from the town came to the games, and then the playoff game that got moved to Big Rapids. Everybody was,
Holton.
Holton, yeah.
Yep.
Way
Everybody
to make me
was
look
there.
bad, Miles.
What's that?
Way to make me look bad.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, everybody was there. I mean, baseball doesn't get that much love, but still people come out just because we're a good team and it's Whitehall.
What's the highlight of the baseball season, do you think? What do you look forward to the most?
I think conference champs. I mean, I think that's big, but I think winning the district would be even bigger. We haven't won since 2016 or something, so it'd be big if we could win a district.
What's it like playing for Z and Little Z or Mini Z?
He's a legendary coach. I mean, can't go wrong with him. He knows the game. So whenever you have any questions, just talk to him about it.
Did you see the TikTok that they made at Media Day? Your guys' Media Day's come up. I think we got you Wednesday.
Yeah.
So you saw the TikTok of the Z
yeah.
impersonations? That was pretty good.
Oh no, I did see that.
Yeah, that was pretty funny. So, Bill, what are your memories from back in the day in sports and all that stuff?
Well, I'll tell you, we my football years, my junior year, we made the playoffs, and we went up to play in the Superior Dome.
Who'd you guys play up there?
We played Calumet.
Oh yeah, the Copper Kings.
Yep, and we lost to them. It was a close game, but that's as far as we went in football. I did 40 years of baseball too.
Did Stark play on that team or no?
Stark was
Jeff Stark.
a year ahead of me.
Yeah.
He was a beast for sure.
He was.
Yeah.
He was a tough running back.
And then, unfortunately, our baseball years were not so hot here at Whitehall.
So who are some of the guys you played with in baseball then?
I played with Tim Corden, Eric Ostemiller, Eric Sanford, Lance Goslin. Those are some of the names that I went to school with. So
Eric Sanford can swing it on the golf course a little bit.
Right. Yep.
So you get out, you guys play golf or not?
Oh, in the summer, dude, I lose so much money playing golf. It's insane.
Oh, yeah.
I haven't been at it in a while, but hopefully this summer I'm going to pick it up again.
Oh, I think late February when we had that little patch of green.
Yeah.
Me and my buddy went and walked the course. Just it's good to be out there.
Which course?
Hickory.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
So.
Yep. Price is right.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Can't beat it.
Yep. Lots of golf out there. So what else you got, Myles?
I think we haven't touched on this yet, but who do you have bringing in to sign on May 4th?
So yeah, I'll touch a little bit on one of the things that I take pride in is bringing in signers to the shops. Before I had a card shop, I used to put on pretty good sized shows in Muskegon. So we had the last big name we had a couple years ago was Braylon Edwards.
Oh, yeah.
Good guy. And what I like to try to do is tap into our local talent. So, trying to bring in some local people, like we had Bushberger at the shop. He's an awesome guy. So our next big signer is May 4th at the American Legion in Whitehall. We have Cal Halliday, linebacker from Michigan State.
First team All Big Ten.
Yeah.
Now, is he coming back or is he done there now?
He's coming back for his
what I
senior
thought.
year.
Yeah.
So I'm a Michigan fan, but I'm one of those fans that, if as long as Sparty ain't playing Michigan, I'm gonna root for Sparty.
See, I'm a Michigan State grad, but I'm one of those guys who tries to give credit where it's due.
Yeah, absolutely.
So like when Michigan won it, it's like, hey, you got to tip your cap when the team goes out and does it. You got to do it.
Yeah. So we got Cal Halliday coming in. He'll be here May 4th, signing 11-1. Super nice guy. Talked to him on the phone.
He's a throwback guy. Kinda.
Yeah, he is.
That's how he
He's
plays.
one of those old school,
Accessories.
Yeah,
Yep.
exactly.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to meeting him, and I think it's something fun that I can bring to the community. Another, a signing of somebody that we're able to watch on TV, and somebody that maybe we'll see in the NFL here in a couple of years.
I got a quick question. How do you get into contact with these guys?
So I've got a few contacts. I can't really reveal my sources. It's one of those things. But I first started actually with Dave Rosema, former Tiger, 1984 World Series champ, and he hooks me up with a few players here and there, and then I kind of just snowball it with players that I bring in. So it's fun. That's actually one of the fun things is who can I bring next? Who's going to be a big name?
You've had Denny several times, haven't you?
So I'm
Denny
actually
McClain?
I'm pretty good with Denny right now. He's one that signs all over the place. He loves to make appearances. He's a great guy. He's a character. All right. He's got so many stories, and for me to hear the stories from these players is really what makes it, hearing some of the locker room stories, and it's unbelievable. So that's what's fun.
So what was the local connection again with the Tigers? Or wasn't it the Tigers or was it another team? Tommy, who's the musician around here? Tommy, was it his dad?
Tommy Foster.
Foster.
Yep.
So was his dad?
So yes, so Larry Foster.
Yeah.
This is pretty cool little story real quick. So Larry Foster and Denny McClain were roommates with the Detroit Tigers. Now, the story about Larry Foster, who just passed away recently, I've had him a couple times at shows. He pitched just one game for the Detroit Tigers. And when he got called up, his roommate was Denny McClain. And so the big story about that is, Denny used to always say, "Hey, Larry, go get me a Pepsi." And so he used to always joke and say, "Hey, Larry's going to be my Pepsi guy." So I actually reunited them here a couple years ago here at my card shop, and it was a really cool. They hadn't seen each other since, and so when Larry came to the card shop, he brought him a Pepsi, and it was a pretty cool.
That's really neat.
To see
Yeah.
something like that. So.
Yeah. So the game tonight, we got the national championship game. UConn, defending national champ against Purdue. Who you guys got?
I think UConn. I saw a graphic the other day and just kind of showed their win margins from the past. I mean, last year they were national championship, and I think each game was like 15 plus and at least 10. Some were 20. I mean, even 30 in some of the round of 64 games. So I think while Purdue has big man Zach Edey and he gets a lot of calls, I think UConn's gonna prevail tonight.
Yeah, I've got UConn too, but I really think it's going to be a close game. I think Purdue's going to give them a little run tonight.
Who do you like? Do you like either of those teams or not?
I mean, I don't really care, but UConn's my winner, and I get some money if they win. But honestly, I'm a little nervous with Zach Edey because I think he's been picking it up lately.
Yeah.
Last game he struggled a little bit, and I think but we'll see.
Can Klingon hang in there again? I mean, he's pretty good too, but I mean, he's not 7'4", but he's more mobile. Looks like obviously, but
Zach Edey's a little slow with his movement.
Yeah.
But I mean, he just has to sit in there in the paint.
You're right.
The ref's gonna call.
Yeah.
Right.
Not gonna call foul. Not gonna call 3 seconds.
When they played Michigan State, dude, I just had to turn the TV off.
Yeah.
So
that
dude.
I mean, that leads me to another topic because there's a lot of discussion. You know, being a Michigan State grad and fan and everything is that Izzo, quote, won't use the portal. I mean, he has. Tyson Walker was a portal guy. Julie Howes was. Portal or transfer, whatever you want to say. Yeah. What do you guys think about the state of like college athletics with NIL and the portal and everything?
For me, I think NIL is good with limits. I feel like if you're good enough to get that bag, go get that bag. And then for the transfer portal, I think transferring maybe once is cool, but I feel like you have to stay your first 2 years, like to whatever school. I feel like that would be best, because you see a lot of guys just transferring just because they can't play, which is cool. But I feel like staying 2 years and then only transferring once. I see a lot of guys transferring like 3 or 4 times, which is kind of ridiculous to me.
Yeah, for me, I think that I'm an old school guy, so like the transfer portal, I think it's just become just a circus. I hate to see these players keep jumping teams. You know, I mean, stick with it, like Myles said, at least a couple years, I think, or something. And as far as the NIL, I mean, the money's great for the kids; they deserve something. But I personally think it's kind of gone too much.
Self?
Yeah, I mean, I agree with everything they said, but yeah, it is kind of crazy. I mean, these college athletes are like Caitlin Clark. She's making more than she'd make in the WNBA.
Mm-hmm.
Like I probably saw a TikTok about it, but like she's the face of March Madness. I mean, the tournament, and she's just everything is around her, and she's getting all these NIL deals, and like she's probably a millionaire right now. So it's kind of insane that she hasn't even really.
I feel like back to the transfer portal, like the only exception to that would be if your coach is leaving.
Yeah.
Because I mean that's probably one of the bigger reasons a guy commits there. So
yeah.
Keep going. Sorry. I feel like if a coach leaves, I think it's all will for you to transfer.
Well, I know Juwan Howard, he's out of there, so I was wondering about Brooks.
I guess he's staying committed.
He is? Okay.
Yeah, Darrell Brooks. So with Dusty May coming in from FAU.
Yeah.
But, I mean, you're a college prospect. I mean, how cool would it be for you to kind of benefit if that comes about?
Yeah, that would definitely be pretty cool. I mean, definitely if I went to play football and then I was able, if I did really good or something, I was able to transition up. I mean, that'd be sick, obviously, but it's a lot of work. And definitely those athletes, I feel like, have earned it. And, I mean, if they're good enough, man, they should get it.
I mean, they're talking about that hitting the high school level. I think there's legislation out there.
I heard about that, yeah.
So, I mean, can you imagine that world?
Oh, no.
That's where
middle schoolers, and then
that's where I just
where does it stop?
You got to draw the line somewhere. I mean, is anything sacred anymore?
Right.
But so I mean, who would sign this guy here? Who would sign Myles? Do you think? Who would he be the cover boy for?
Bill's Lakeshore Golden Cards. That's kind of NIL deal with my dad.
There you go.
So, anything else you guys want to discuss or add, or you guys we good for the night?
I think it was good. We got a lot of talk. I mean, the card shop, and then Trannon, obviously, with his flipping business, and then 3 sport athletes. So I think it's sweet.
No, Anything else that you want to just say about that business and what's coming up, or just how that's been in this community and supported and everything?
Yeah, I really want to give a shout out to some of our volunteers, because we put on so many monthly events, from Pokemon tournaments to trade nights to card shows, all kinds of stuff. So like Rob Lohman, Nick Briggs, they come in and they help us with the tournaments, and they do a phenomenal job. And then Billy Mann, he does our advertising for us, and he does a good job. Janet Welch, the wife, I got to give a huge shout out to her. She does the secretarial work, and so without the volunteers, I wouldn't be able to do what I do. And then for the community, I mean, our customers are top notch. I mean, I can't even begin to say how much it means for me for them to come in, and it's just a laid back atmosphere. We're it's not I want you to buy something and get out, man. I want customers to stay a minute and let's chit chat about some sports or the hobby or whatever. So
that's really, for me, like when I go to a game, I love sports, but I just love being there talking to people, seeing people that or maybe seeing people you haven't seen in a while, and just.
I actually get to the shop probably about 6 a.m. I don't open till 11. The reason is I tell Janet, I'm like, you know what? Once the doors open at 11, I'm not getting any work done, because I'm there talking about sports all day. So it's.
When you can get paid for that,
right? Exactly.
That's not a bad deal.
Yep.
All right. Well, thanks, guys. Appreciate you being on. And before we sign off, we're going to thank our sponsors one last time, starting with title sponsor Chris Wank of Century 21 and Century 21 Trophy Class, to be specific. Big Stone Therapies, Rescue 2.0 LLC, Grieve Law, Edward Jones with financial advisor Brett Atkins, Coldwell Banker Woodland Schmidt with David Duesenberry, Farm Bureau Insurance, the Kenny Agency, 5 Star Real Estate Leaders with Matt Parker, the Birdhouse, Scheid Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling, and then Green Ridge Realty with Chris Eichmann and Sarah Real. Thanks a lot, everybody, and I appreciate the guests, Bill Welch and Trannon Aylor. Thanks for being on.
Thank you.
Yep, and then also, obviously, my co-host, or the guy that's going to be running this podcast sooner rather than later, Myles Welch. Thanks a lot, and enjoy your week, everybody.